And speaking of Clarksville, now it's time to check in with KHQA's own Allison Brown, who continues our flood watch coverage this morning.
We're going to check in with her now. Good morning, Allison.
All right, we are in downtown Clarksville, right near the efforts to keep the Mississippi River out of the town. Now, over the weekend, thousands of volunteers came to the aid to try to keep, again, the river out of the town. Governor Nixon sent inmates to even help sandbag. Officials at this time expect the river to crest at about 35 feet. However, when I checked the National Weather Service this morning, as of 2 o'clock, the river is measured at 34.78. So we're getting to that 35 feet prediction. Now, again, if you were trying to come to this area, again, remember that Missouri 79, the major way to get to this area along the river for this town, and as well as Louisiana, Missouri, is closed. Coming up later in the show, we will have Mayor Joanne Smiley from Clarksville join us to tell us, give us an update about the town. I'm now going to hand it back over to Chad and Kristen in the studio.
Well, now it's time to check in with KHQA's Allison Brown this morning, who's live in Clarksville.
She continues our flood watch coverage from Clarksville, Missouri this morning. Good morning, Allison.
All right, we decided to come a little bit closer to where the action is. We're down here near the riverfront at Howard and First Street in downtown Clarksville. Now take a look at this. I'm only 5'1", but this wall is almost as tall as me. And as far as you can see on both sides, there is a wall just like this, trying to keep the Mississippi River at bay. Now, again, officials expect the river to crest at 35 feet. However, when I checked the National Weather Service this morning at 2 o'clock, the river was measured at 34.78 feet. So we're kind of creeping up to that 35-foot mark. Now, again, I just spoke to Will. He's one of the guys working from St. Louis AmeriCorps. He says that he's been here since Wednesday, and they've had over 300 volunteers that have been doing more than 2,000 community service hours. Now, again, all their efforts is to keep this river from gaining any more traction into Clarksville. Coming up, we will have Mayor Joanne Smiley of Clarksville to give us an update on the town and how it's doing. I'm now going to give it back to Chad, Kristen, and Tegan in studio.
KHQA's flood coverage this morning. We're going to check in with KHQA's Allison Brown, who is live in Clarksville, Missouri.
She continues our flood watch coverage from Clarksville this morning. Good morning, Allison.
All right, again, we are in downtown Clarksville with the mayor of Clarksville, Miss Joanne Smiley. So, ma'am, how are you doing right now?
We're doing fine. It's not as hot out here this morning. The temperature is down, as is the humidity, and the water's beginning to recede.
That sounds like great news.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what other do y'all need any more help at this time?
I think not. We have prisoners coming today, and we have more sand being delivered today, just in case. This town has been through enough floods that we know the Mississippi can tease us from time to time. It can come up in an unexpected moment or two, and consequently we want to be prepared. We'd rather have some here than to have something happen and be without.
Okay, now I know this question is a bit premature, but have you started looking forward to next year? Have you started planning for next year?
Since 2008, we have continually looked forward to what do we do when the flood comes, because we know it's going to come. We know there's going to be repeats. We didn't anticipate it was going to come every year, and we only just got done paying off 2013 flood when this one arrived. So it is a constant concern, a constant thought in the back of your mind, and has to be a constant concern forward in the minds of the Board of Aldermen.
Okay, now as you just heard Mayor Smiley say, she says that they are concerned, but they are okay. I'm now going to give it back to Chad, Tegan, and Kristen in the studio.
All right, sounds like some good news there this morning in Clarksville. Thanks, Allison.